Morning. Today's lesson is asking questions one, or framing questions, or questioning. There are two parts in this lecture. This is the first part, and this lesson is very important in terms of communication skills, functional English, communicative English, etc. So let us start with the objectives of this lesson. The objectives of this lesson are: seek information by questioning, asking questions to seek information from others, to take information from others, how to ask proper questions, apt, suitable questions, well constructed questions, to seek the response, the information. So that is one objective. The second objective is learn question words. So what are the words used to ask questions? There are two types of words. One is WH questioning words. The second is the questioning words framed with helping verbs. The auxiliary verbs are used to frame the questions. These questions are yes or no type questions. So learn to frame yes or no type questions. So in this lesson we are going to learn how to frame yes or no type questions. The second objective is learn to answer yes or no type questions. How to answer to yes or no type questions. Obviously, the answer to yes or no type questions is yes or no. Further, you can continue the answer if you desire so. Otherwise, you can stop with yes or no. That's why these questions are called yes or no type questions. The next thing is learn about question tags. Question tags are used to confirm the information. So in question tags also, question tags are also a sort of questions, short questions, and we are also going to learn these question tags in this lesson. So these are the objectives of the lesson: seeking information by questioning, learning questioning words, learning to frame yes or no type questions, learning to answer yes or no type questions, and learning about question tags. These are the broad objectives of this lesson. Now let us get into the lesson. The first part is introduction. See the introduction. A great part of human communication consists of using questions. In communication, generally in communication, we ask questions and we elicit information, we seek information, we get information by asking questions. So, a greater part of human communication consists of asking questions. So, the importance of learning how to frame proper questions, correct questions. Questions are asked to elicit information. Yes, you want to get information, you want some information to do some work, to continue some work. So, you elicit information by asking questions. You seek information by asking questions. You take help from others by asking questions. Two types of questions, yes or no type and WH questions. There are two types of questions. The first is yes or no type questions. The second is WH questions. These are the two categories of questions we see in English language. Mastering these two types of questions will be of great help to the students. As students, you have to master framing yes or no type questions as well as WH questions. So, framing questions in a proper way, in a simple way, is an art, and we have to master this art to excel in English communication. Mastering these two types of questions will be of great help to the students. So it is going to help the students greatly in improving their fluency and in building their confidence, enhancing their confidence in English communication skills. So this has to be learnt very carefully with focus. Many people make mistakes while framing questions in English due to the influence of their mother tongue. Generally, mistakes happen in framing questions. These mistakes are due to the influence of mother tongue, a Telugu language. So, we have to overcome this influence of mother tongue. After some extent, we have to learn the language, the target language, uh, with its own rules, not with the help of the rules of grammar of mother tongue, but with the help of the rules of the target language, that is English. Their inability in mastering the word order in questions. So, English language has a peculiar word order in questioning that has to be mastered. Verb plus subject word order generally we see in questions. That is the speciality of framing questions in English. Now, further we will learn some basics of this lesson. Yes or no type questions are framed by placing the helping verb before the subject. As I told you earlier, just now, In yes or no type questions, we come across the help in the beginning, in the first place. Then comes the subject. Verb plus subject word order has to be followed to frame yes or no type questions. The helping verb indicates whether the question refers to the past, present, or future. The helping verb, the auxiliary verb with which we start framing yes or no type question, indicates the tense of the question, whether it is in present tense or past tense or future tense. Suppose if the question is beginning with is, it is in present tense. If the question is beginning with has or have, in present tense. If the question is beginning with are, am, is, it is in present tense. If the question is beginning with was, were, did, or had, it is in past tense. If the question is beginning with will, it is in future tense. So, the auxiliary verb, the helping verb, indicates the tense of the question, present tense or past tense or future tense. For example, here one example is given. The example is, he does not sing. He does not sing. This is the statement. Does he not sing? Question. See the word order. They are learning English. Are they learning English? See the word order. So in the first example, the question is beginning with does. Does is in present tense. In the second example, the question is beginning with are. Are is present tense. So the questioning word indicates the tense of the question. This you have to remember. Okay. Next, let us see some questions. Am I late? Am I late? Is he going? Is she going? Is it going? Are we writing? Are you writing? Are they writing? Was I eating? Was he eating? Was she eating? Was it eating? Were we working? Were you working? Were they working? So these are the some questions. Am I late? Present tense. Is he going? Present tense. Are we writing? Present tense. Was I eating? Past tense. Were we working? Past tense. Let us examine some more structures. These structures are starting with do, does, did. Do, does, did. Do I live here? Do you live here? Do we live here? Do they work here? Do they live here? So this question is in present tense. When the question begins with do, that is in present tense. Do is in present tense. It is plural. Next, see does. Does he like music? Does she like music? Does it like music? Does he play music? Does she play music? Does it play music? So does is in present tense. And it is singular. Does is singular. It is in present tense. When the subject is singular, we use does. See here the subject is he, she, it. The subject is singular. That's why we are using does. And the past tense of do and does is did. Do past tense did. Does past tense did. So with did, we use did with all persons. First person, second person, third person, singular and plural. With all persons we use did. So I read some examples here. One example is given here. I try to read with different persons so that you can understand. Did I go? Did I sing? Did we play? Did you sing? Did she go? Did it play? So in this way. So these are the questions beginning with do, does, did. And another important point to be noted is with these questions we use V1 form of the verb. See, in the first example we used the verbs work or leave. In the second example we used the examples like or play. In the third example we used the verbs go, play, sing. So all these verbs are plural. All these verbs are in V1 form. So irrespective of the tense of the questioning word, we use V1 with do, does, did. So this you have to remember. Next, these are also yes or no type questions. Next, coming to activity 1. Read the following passage. Identify sentences that help you to frame questions. So first, let us read the passage. Then let us identify the sentences that help us to frame yes or no type questions. I read the passage, look at the passage keenly. If I get lost in a deep forest, I will not panic. Panic is the greatest enemy in this situation. If I run wildly around, even for a little while, I may lose sense of direction. I will pay close attention to my surroundings, landmarks, and relate this to my location on the map if I have one with me. I will trust it and I will not walk aimlessly. I will try to recall the way I came and try to recollect if took any turns. If I took any turns. This is how I will try to locate where I am. Then I will easily know my way out. I will leave some marks wherever I go so that I can notice if I return there. Also, if someone is searching for me, he may find those marks useful to trace me. If I find a river or a stream, I will walk along it as it may lead to village. If I cannot get out of it, I will stand in the open and remain at one place and let the people locate me. If I have a whistle, I will blow it, or I can use one using a blade of grass. I can make one. I won't hide in a cave or under bushes. This is how I will try to manage to come out of that situation. So, this is the passage. In this passage, we have to identify the sentences with which we can frame some questions. In the next slide, we can see some statements and questions taken from the above paragraph. The first question, first statement, I do not panic. Do I panic? We have changed a little bit. Or don't I panic? I may lose my sense of direction. Do I lose my sense of direction? I will pay close attention to my surroundings. Will you pay close attention to your surroundings? I can easily know the way out. Do you easily know the way out? Someone is searching for me. Is someone searching for you? I will blow the whistle. Will you blow the whistle? So these are the probable statements with which we can frame some yes or no type questions. Right? Now, let us do some exercises. Make questions. Make questions using the jumbled words given below. Use is or are to make questions. So these are the jumbled words, jumbled sentences with which we have to make yes or no type questions. So let us see. Near here the hospital. Near here the hospital. Is there the hospital near here? Is there the hospital near here? The college open today. Is the college open today? Is the college open today? Interested in computer, you. Are you interested in computer? Are you interested in computer? Very strict he. Is he very strict? Coming the bus. Is the bus coming? Your friends watching television. Are your friends watching television? You listening to me. Are you listening to me? So this is one exercise. So we framed these questions using the helping verb is or are. So here, if the subject is if the subject is singular, use is. If the subject is plural, use are. So you have to see the subject first. Your friends is plural. So we have to use are. Are your friends watching television? So remaining singular. And with you, we always use are. Are you listening to me? So this is the technique you have to follow to frame the questions. Next, change the given sentences into questions. Write questions with do or does. Some sentences are given. 9 sentences are given. You have to convert these 9 sentences into yes or no type questions, and each question should begin with do or does. If the subject is plural, use do. If the subject is singular, use does. If the subject is plural, use do. If the subject is singular, use does. Both do and does are in present tense. Both are in present tense. So with both, we use V1 form of the verb in questions. He speaks Hindi. Does he speak Hindi? Does he speak Hindi? V1. They play every morning. Do they play every morning? You sing. Do you sing? You sing well. Do you sing well? We go to the movies often. Do we go to the movies often? I admire Gandhi. Do I admire Gandhi? She visits her parents regularly. Does she visit her parents regularly? He loves to cook. Does he love to cook? Our cat likes milk. Does our cat likes Does our cat like milk? So these are the questions we framed with these sentences. So I read the questions again. Look at the statements. Does he speak Hindi? Do they pray every morning? Do you sing? Do you sing well? Do you go to the movies often? Do you admire Gandhi? Does she visit her parents regularly? Does he love to cook? Does your cat like milk? The next exercise, the questions are, the statements are in simple past tense. In simple past tense, we use V2 form of the verb. So to frame, to change such statements into questions, we start the question with did. I liked the book. She slept late. They ate the food. We went to a movie. The accident took place in the morning. She visited her friend. You sent a message. So, in all these statements, we are using V2 form of the verb. So, all these sentences are in simple past tense. In simple past tense, we use V2 form of the verb. In simple past tense, between the subject and the V2 form of the verb, there are no helping verbs. So, to change a statement in simple past tense into question, we start the question with did. Did is the past tense of do and does. Did is in the past tense. Did is used with all subject, first person, second person, third person, singular and plural. With all subjects we use did. With did we always use V1 form of the verb. That you have to remember. Okay. Now I change these sentences into questions. You just look at the statements. I liked the book. Did I like the book? She slept late. Did she sleep late? They ate the food. Did they eat the food? We went to a movie. Did you go to a movie? The accident took place in the morning. Did the accident take place in the morning? She visited her friend. Did she visit her friend? You sent a message. Did you send a message? I read the questions again. Just look at the statements. Did I like the book? Did she sleep late? Did they eat the food? Did you go to a movie? Did the accident take place in the morning? Did she visit her friend? Did you send a message? So, these are the questions in the past tense. Did means past tense. With the did, we use V1 form of the verb. Next, look at the following statements and frame yes or no type questions. Statements are given and questions also framed. Just you have to listen, look at and listen. He is a gentleman. Is he a gentleman? He will present the lesson. Will he present the lesson? She writes well. Does she write well? She is a great leader. Is she a great leader? We finished the work. Did we finish the work? You have paid the fee. Have you paid the fee? We can see the church. Can we see the church? You need money. Do you need money? They read a lot. Do they read a lot? You are a good driver. Are you a good driver? So in this way, we changed the statements into questions. So if there is helping verb in the statement, that helping verb becomes questioning word in question. And if the statement doesn't have helping verb, you take the main verb, and with the help of that main verb you change it into question. If the verb is singular, use does. If the verb is plural in present tense, use do. If the statement is in past tense, use did. Next, assignment. Write 10 yes or no type questions that you would like to ask your friend. Just some yes or no type questions to ask your friend. Either write something. Let us write. Just you listen. I read and write down. Do you read novels? Do you read newspapers? Did you finish writing the book? Are you going to the library? Will you write these notes for me? Did you write your exams well? Can you borrow me your notes? Is she reading the textbook? Can you write legibly? Will you translate this book for me? So in this way you can ask some questions to your friend. Can you speak English? Can you drive a car? Can you ride a bike? Will you accompany me to the hospital? Will you accompany me to the market? Are you okay? So in this way you can ask many questions. Now let us recap. Let us revisit the lesson. Let us have a recap of the lesson. This is the lesson. So in the first slide we have these objectives. The main objective is learning to frame yes or no type questions and how to answer to the yes or no type questions in a correct way. In introduction, we have given some information about the importance of framing correct sentences in functional English or communicative English. And next slide we stressed the questioning words in yes or no type questions that indicate the present tense or past tense or future tense. And these questioning words also state whether the subject is singular or plural. So in the next slide we have these structures, questions that begin with helping verbs like am, is, are, was, were, do, does, did, like that. In activity 1 we have a passage. With the help of that passage we located some sentences, potential sentences that can be converted into yes or no type questions. So we identified such 5 sentences and we changed those sentences into questions. In the next slide we made some yes or no type questions with the given jumbled words. In a sentence the words are jumbled and we framed yes or no type questions. So in this activity first you have to identify whether the subject is singular or plural, or whether the, the verb is in present tense or past tense or future tense or continuous tense. So these things you have to observe. If the subject is singular, use singular verb. If the subject is plural, use plural verb. In the next slide, we changed some sentences into questions. In the same way, we changed further some sentences into questions. And next, we changed statements into questions. So all these activities have been done for the practice purpose, to wean away the errors that generally crept in framing the questions. The assignment, you have been asked to some questions, some yes or no type questions to your friend. This is the lesson asking questions part 1. So anyhow, this questioning is very important aspect in English communication, and many people commit mistakes in framing right questions, and framing questions to the point in a simple way, in a plain way, is an art, and this art has to be learned with some knowledge of grammar, subject verb agreement, and word order. In questions, the word order, in yes or no type questions, the word order is like this: verb plus subject. Verb comes first, then follows the subject. This has to be kept in mind. So this is the yes or no type questions, part 1. Generally, yes or no type questions begin with am, is, are, was, were, do, did, do, does, did, can, has, have, will, shall, etc. These are the helping verbs we generally used to frame yes or no type questions. So in the second part, we are going to learn how to frame WH questions. So that is also very important activity in the next lesson. Thank you all. Thank you very much.